Welcome to the Startup Leaders Show, where we learn lessons from leading startup founders and executives. I'm your host, Lisa Dreher. I'm really excited to introduce our guest for today, Laurie Scott. He is the director and co-founder of Neuco. Welcome to the show, Laurie.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Maybe you can start by just giving us a little bit of background on yourself and Neuco.
Yeah, sure. So Neuco is a company that I co-founded with two business partners about 5.5 years ago. So we essentially specialize in talent acquisition, recruitment within the technology sectors, focusing across satellite and new space, cybersecurity, content and media, and connectivity. So all within those verticals that we work globally.
Wow, that's amazing. And so what's your background? What kind of brought you to the place where you started Neuco?
Yeah, it feels like a long time ago, and that's why I'm grey and I've gone quite bald. But for me, I've always worked in sales. I worked for Virgin Atlantic for about 10 years. Worked in the US, across Africa, and in India, sort of setting up the routes. And then I moved into recruitment, and so I spent probably the first 5, 6 years in technology recruitment. Opened up the satellite and space group. We ran a company for a number of years, and then about 5.5 years ago, me and my two business partners, we went for a management buyout that didn't work, and said, "Look, what should we do? We've built a team. Why don't we do it for ourselves?" And that's how Neuco sort of got together. And I can't believe it's been 5.5 years already. And yeah, pre-COVID, we invested in another company and set up a company called Ovio as well, which sort of complements what Neuco does. So yeah, it's been an interesting few period for us.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, it sounds like you started things right at the right time, actually. What types of trends are you kind of keeping an eye on right now? What are you seeing?
For us, I mean, obviously COVID has affected everybody. I mean, it's companies have had to get used to remote working, relying on their staff to be sort of set up, and we spoke about it offline, having your children working from home, and sort of having to manage the day job as well as sort of looking after your family has been interesting, good fun as well, because you spend more time with your family and haven't sort of traveled as much as we wanted to. But I think from our point of view, it's what we've seen. It's allowed us to really change our business model, really focus on talking to our clients over video rather than having to go to shows or fly around the world to go and meet with them. We've had that interaction, which has been great, which is probably something we just haven't had the opportunity to do as much as we would have liked pre-COVID. And for us, I'd also say it's just so busy right now. There's so much innovation across the technology sectors right now. So many startups we're talking to and consulting with. It's very much a candidate-driven market right now. Everybody's in demand with the specific skill set that they have. It's a lot of companies have now realised that they need to look after their staff or bring in the talent that's out there. And it's very much a candidate-driven market right now. I've never known it like this.
Yeah, I know. No kidding. It's really amazing. So maybe we can start by having you talk just a little bit about what have been the biggest keys to your success so far.
Yeah, so for us, I mean, essentially, it's our team. I mean, it sounds a bit cheesy and a bit cliche, but it's the people that we've sort of hired into Nuco. It's their attitude, their commitment, the achievements that they're doing, and the talent that we've brought in. That's been essential to for Nuco and for our growth. And I think, obviously, our clients and the partners, I think more so during COVID, we've really utilize the relationships and that we've built up over the years and kept in contact and sort of helped them throughout the pandemic. But yeah, going back to the team, we're quite particular about the people that we hire, but at the same time, everybody's in it together. We've got 16 people within the company now. For Ovio, there's about 35 people. We haven't lost anybody for any nutrition, so everybody's sort of pulling together. And I think the last 2 years has really brought everybody together as like a bit of a family, really. So we're always supporting each other, and without them, Nuco wouldn't exist.
Yeah, wow, amazing. That's really spectacular over 5 years to grow such a great team. What do you say? What would you say is the most valuable business lesson that you've learned over the years?
Yeah, good question. I think for us, don't panic. There's always a solution. I think trust in your team and the processes. At the same time, question everything, but you need to be yourself and actually enjoy what you do. I think that would be the biggest lesson that I've learned over my time is don't take yourself serious. Don't try and be like anybody else. Have fun. People buy into people at the end of the day, and don't overpromise because it is all about delivery at the end of the day for us.
Yeah, absolutely. For those that are looking for a new position in the tech field or space, satellite, the markets that you're focused on, what would you say is the best advice to these folks right now if they're out there looking either for something new because they're not happy where they are, or they're looking for something new because of some other reason? What piece of advice would you give to them right now?
Yeah, I would say do your research. Why is it that you're looking to move? And look at the companies that are out there. Do you want to go into a startup where um, it's always stressful in a work environment, but do you want to go to a startup where you can really grow into an organization as and when they build up, or do you want to go into a corporate and learn the processes, learn the business? I mean, we get asked all the time. We go to all the trade shows. All our clients are like, diversity. How can we get the next generation into satellite and space? And I think if you look at the industries that we work in, they're very sexy. But if you're not in it, you don't know about it. Everyone thinks Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, looking at, and it's like, no, no, no. If you look at the established companies within that field and what they've done, it's great those people are bringing a new era and bringing the industry to the new generation. But I think from that point of view is we really need to target the the kindergartens, the colleges, the universities, and get these people into the industry because no one, everybody wants to be an astronaut, but that doesn't work. Why don't you get electronic engineering? Why don't you get involved in building satellites or get involved in launch or building the wonderful applications that are out there now into the industry? And there is definitely a channel out there, but there is certain associations that are doing a great job. Obviously, your association as well, of putting the message out there. That would be my is embrace it, do your research, ask people. There's a lot of non-execs out there and mentors, so utilize what you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, on the other side, if you are out there and you're a business that's trying to recruit some of these resources, it can be really challenging right now to find the right people for these roles, especially in some of these really, specific industries, right? I mean, satellite industry, I think a lot of times we try to look for people that have that satellite experience. What do you do there?
Yeah, I mean, if I relate it to Neuco and what we've done, I mean, I sort of go back. It's all about, for me, it's not about the experience. It's about the attitude. If you've got the can-do attitude, if you can communicate in the right manner, if you've got the desire, and I always say there's no egos. If you're willing to learn, that's how you can. That's how we've hired within Nuco. I mean, we've hired graduates that have just come out of university and it's their first job, and we're very particular about the screening process for Nuco. But going back to the individuals that we've brought in, especially over the last 16 months, it's their first job, but it just amazes me, this next generation. They come in, social media, they've got some ideas, they're very computer literate, they're very comfortable in terms of embracing what we do, and they pick it up so quick. It scares me. I mean, I can't compete with these guys, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the right family ethics, ethical. It comes down to the communication skills and the attitude. Anybody can learn recruitment or the industries that we work within, but it's embracing what you do and enjoying it.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you do from a screening perspective?
Yeah, I can't take credit. So this will make you laugh. We have an amazing recruiter that we use that really knows the DNA of Nuco, and she's hired pretty much everybody within our organisation because she's worked with us for a number of years. She knows what we're looking for. But my business partner, Will, he's the one that does the screening, and he's been working in the industry for 30 years, so he does a lot. He could probably write a book about interviewing and the people that he's seen. But I think for him, it goes back to having the right ethics to what Neuco's looking for. Having that attitude is crucial.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so knowing what you know now, is there some piece of advice you would have given yourself when you first started out?
Um, Fortune favours the brave. No, I think from us thinking about it, it's trusting others. I mean, when we set Neuco up, there was just the three of us, and we had to go back to literally we had nothing, so we had to start from the scratch. But I think believing in what we can do, don't be afraid to empower people around you, and that's how we're scaling up now. Is that we're delegating some of the tasks that it's our baby, we want to do it. No. It's like we've got a great team around us that are willing to learn, and they've got the ambition, so get them to help you. And I think that's how we've been, how we're moving in that direction. So for me, it's very much trusting others around you.
Great. Is there anything that you would do different if you were to start all over?
I think for us, about 2 years ago, we engaged with a non-executive director. I'll give him a big shout, a guy called Simon Farnsworth. So we've always looked to get somebody in like that. Maybe we were a little bit too late. We took 3-4 years to really get somebody in like him, and it's been amazing. So for us, I wish we'd engaged in somebody that's within the industry and has been there and done it, that can use their experience and guidance to bounce some ideas off, and that's really been instrumental bringing him in.
Yeah, great. So as you've kind of scaled the business, is there like what have you done to kind of, I guess, push past the plateaus that we kind of all inevitably hit as we're growing a business?
Yeah, sure. Good question. So I think from our side, we've developed different ideas. We've upskilled the team. We've started a new business, like I mentioned, Ovio, about 2 years ago to sort of complement what we do. But I think the biggest example of that is probably during COVID. I mean, everybody was nervous, everybody was panicking. What we're going to do? A lot of our clients are not going to be hiring. Are we overthinking it? So from our point of view, we just adapted to the situation. So how we normally work is we'd bring in a position, a client wants us to work on one particular position, and we'd have somebody dedicated to work on that position. Now, during COVID, we were working from home, and we were conscious that we couldn't get to see each other. So we said, look, let's have our meetings every morning, have a catch up towards the end of the day, have a online video beer on a Friday. And what we said was that if we bring a project, let's get the whole team involved so that we can then service our clients in a better and efficient manner. And that's really sort of changed the dimensions of Neuco. So now we've allowed us to scale up. We're taking on more and more projects, volume, and working on some really exciting projects where we probably wouldn't have been able to sort of cope with going back before COVID.
Wow. So it sounds like you've kind of instituted some things to keep the team connected even while you were apart. Are there other things that you did to kind of keep that, I guess, camaraderie strong?
Yeah, so I mean, we want to look after our staff. So we were aware that a lot of the team makes me feel sick, but under 25. I could be their dad. And the thing was, they're going from graduating, being at a university, studying, going out, and then being locked in their room for the next 3-4 months. So from a mental health perspective, that was really, really challenging. So we invested in a particular platform that can provide guidance, give online support if anybody's struggling. But outside of that, for us, it was silly things like doing virtual quizzes, going for long walks when we were allowed out, sending them hampers, making sure they were set up from home. If they're in their bedroom, they've got the right desk, they've got the right tools in front of them to help them, sending them hampers, silly little things like that, really, just to let them know that we're still there. And like I said, we were very mindful that we needed to not be isolated, even though we're working from home. Use the video platforms, talk to each other over video, have a coffee break, and really just do quirky little things like that, really, to get you through that home environment.
Sure, sure. Well, good. Well, I want to end with one more question, which is if you were to make one prediction about the future of, I don't know, business, technology, I don't know, satellite industry. You guys work with so many different industries. I'm not really sure, but you can focus on any of those. What would that prediction be?
I think from our point of view is it's never going to stop evolving and changing, and neither will we. So you just have to adapt to it. And I think if you look at, well, video platforms, it's become a crucial part now in our daily working environment, and we've learned to incorporate that. So the podcast, talking to our clients, having those meetings, interviewing people over the video, embrace it. I mean, hopefully trade shows are coming back. I'm going to be hopefully on the road over the next 12 months, and I can't wait. But I know we have participated in some of these video conferences, and they've been great. So I think for us, we've seen that there's been a massive change, but I think it's personally for the better. I think it's allowed people to have that quality of time with their family and be at home, but at the same time probably more productive than ever. Instead of having to be on a plane for 5 or 6 hours just to go and meet a client, you can do a video and talk to them over that. So I think for us, very much it's the probably the innovation that's it's an integral part of how I see the future technology. Really, it's always changing, but personally for the better.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it and hope you'll come back again soon. Best of luck with the continuing success at Neuco, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks so much, Lisa. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.